Alright guys, so there is a creature in Ark Survival, and it is the new deadliest creature in the game at the moment. So this creature's been around for a while, but it is the newest, deadliest creature in the game. So we have some stats from the developers themselves that said that this creature is literally more powerful and kills more people than anyone else in the game. So the developers of Ark Survival Evolved, they can keep track of how many deaths each player takes by each certain creature in the game. So what they did, they went into the game and they found out which creature has been doing the most damage and killing the most players in the game. So they took the stats from last week and they found out that this creature is now the deadliest in Ark Survival Evolved, meaning it kills the most players. So let's take a look at this. So about a week ago, they released this Community Crunch 165, and they talked about raptors. That is right, the raptor is the thing that kills the most players in the game. I don't know how this even works out, like why a raptor, but today we're gonna figure out why exactly the raptor is the most deadliest in Ark Survival. So anyways, let's take a look at this Community Crunch. They said, think you know everything there is to know about the Arks? Well, did you know that the raptor is the deadliest wild creature of all? Here are the numbers using data collected from our official PC servers in the last week. So here is the picture of it last week on the Ark. Wild raptors were the deadliest creature on the Arks for humans. So I'm making this video because it's really interesting because they've never released something like this before. They've never really told us stats about the game and what dinos are the deadliest. So I thought it was really interesting and I wanted to make a video to show you guys and kind of debunk the theory on like why the raptors are the deadliest. Like you would think it would be like a Rex or a Giga or something really powerful, but it's just a raptor. Like no one really thinks these could be killing the most players. So it looks like 62,257 survivors died to raptors. Wild raptors killed twice as many humans as the next deadliest dino. So the next deadliest dino is the Dillos, which have 30,715 kills. Dilphosaurs, these little things, how did they kill literally 30,000 people in a week? That makes no sense. Like obviously people are respawning in the game and probably only like 20, maybe 15 to 20,000 of these are actual like new deaths. They're probably just some repeats. There are some repeats in there. But also deaths by Trikes, 24,000. So you would think that it would be like Rexes, Gigas, something like that. But Dilphosaurs and Raptors, those are the two main ones. How does that even work? And then for the third place, Trikes. Like Trikes, what? Trikes aren't even aggressive. Like they don't even go after players, so how could it be Trikes? So I'm going to talk about my theory on this and why I think that the raptors, these things killed so many people, also the Dilphosaurs and the Trikes as well. So before I talk about my theory, it also says that the only map where the raptor isn't the deadliest is on Extinction, and it is number 5 on Extinction. So I'm also going to talk about that and which dino I think is the deadliest on Extinction and why the raptor isn't the most deadly. So before we figure out how these raptors are killing so many survivors, we need to figure out where they really came from. So if you think about it, when Ark Survival Evolved was just released about 3 to 4 years ago, this game, it wasn't the same as it is today. Pretty much the raptors, they weren't as powerful. All they could do was run after you and try to bite you, but they were really fast back then, and they still were really powerful, but definitely not as powerful as they are today. So as you can see right here, the raptors, they spawn pretty much everywhere on the island when the game was first released. Literally, there isn't a spot where they don't like spawn in except the snow biome. If you look on the center, they spawn literally every main island here. So it doesn't look like they spawn like on the region behind the center, but literally over 50% of the map, raptors spawn. Then if you look at Ragnarok, 50% of the map is covered by raptors, and they're actually really common on Ragnarok. Scorched Earth, another, that's probably not as much, but there still is a lot of raptor spawns. On Aberration, they spawn in this whole top area, which is a lot. Extinction, holy crap, they literally spawn over 50% of the whole map. So my point is that these raptors are spawning everywhere, and that's one of the reasons why it's the most deadliest, because this dino, it spawns a lot of places. Now compared to the Rex, or something that you guys would think is the most deadliest dino in the game, killing the most players, if you look at the Rex, you know, it's really rare and it doesn't even spawn as much. But my point is that the Rex, it spawns in a lot less than the Raptor, and any other really big dino, it spawns in a lot less. And also the raptor, it's one of the most frequent spawning carnivores in the game. Like, there isn't another carnivore that spawns as much as the raptor. So even back when the game was first released, as you can see, they were very common, and they still are really common today. So the reason why I think it's the number one is because of the raptor's ability to now be able to jump on players and kill them. Back in the day, all they could do is run at players, but now after the TLC pass, the raptors got a big buff, and now they can jump on players and attack them while players are stunned. So as you can see right here, the TLC, the raptor. So this was updated a little while ago, I think in May or sometime in the middle of 2018, but they received a model update, animation update, texture update, and new abilities. They have the pounce. So the pounce is when they jump on players just like this, and they can pretty much eat you. And if you're a noob on the beach, and a lot of the spawning locations for these raptors are in like beginner places, and even the harder places, these things can jump on you no matter what gear you have. And if you aren't prepared for it and your health is low, you're gonna die. So that's another reason why the raptors are the most deadly animal or creature in the game at the moment, because their ability to pounce on players, and also all the noobs on the beach that are first spawning in, and they can kill so many players with their new pounce ability. So that is why the raptor is the number one deadliest creature that kills the most dinos on all of Ark Survival Evolved if you put all the maps together. But like it says right here, if you take extinction alone and don't average it in with the rest of the maps, the raptor isn't the deadliest there, and I'm wondering which dino is the deadliest on extinction. Well, the developers are one step ahead of me. They said, we'll be sure to share some more fun visual data in the future. If you're curious, the direwolf is the deadliest wild critter on extinction. Alright, so I'm not even gonna lie, that is really surprising, because the direwolf, although it's really powerful, on extinction it doesn't even spawn on most of the map. As you can see, it's very common in the snow biome to spawn in, but it's not common anywhere else. And I know not many beginners spawn out on the snow biome, so I'm not exactly sure how the direwolf kills the most amount of players, but I mean, I guess it is, so that's kind of interesting. But anyways, also on this list, the number 2 dino that is the most deadliest in Ark Survival Evolved are the Dilphosaurs. So like I said earlier, 30,000 deaths from the Dilphosaur. Let's look exactly where these Dilphosaurs are spawning and how common they are. So if you look on the wiki, once again, the island, they are very common. These things are literally all over the map. Extinction, they are also all over the map. Like, there's no real spot where they don't spawn except like the different biomes here. The center, very common, over 50% of the map. Ragnarok, not as common on Ragnarok, but where they do spawn, they are very common. So this whole area. The corrupted Dilphosaur is a little different, but it looks like they're only talking about the Dilphosaur here. So this is very common on all the maps. So that is probably the main reason why these things are the number 2 dino, just because they spawn everywhere, and there are so many beginners in the game that they just kill everyone along these beaches. Alright, so the most interesting theory that I have for the Trikes, these things are the 3rd most dangerous dinos in Ark Survival Evolved, killing over 24,000 people or survivors. And this one's really interesting because I'm not exactly sure how Trikes, a passive dino that don't attack players unless they're attacked first, somehow killed 24,000 people. Alright, so I'm going to give this my best go. This is my theory, or a couple theories. So the Trike, this thing is passive, like I said. And because of that, a lot of players are trying to tame these things because they're one of the easiest berry getters and berry gatherers for beginners in the game. So they're trying to tame these things, and you know, they go up to them with clubs, maybe slingshots. And the Trikes, they are kind of powerful in the game if you're a beginner and you don't really have good armor. So that's one of the reasons why I think it's number 3 on the list for deadliest dinos. But then at the same time, like, these things are passive, and there are a ton of dinos that people are trying to tame at the beginning that could also kill them. So my other theory is that these Trikes, on top of noobs trying to tame them, they're also very used in PvP when raiding a base. But also when they're using these Trikes in battle, they could also be killing players while raiding bases. So that's one of the reasons why I think the Trikes are number 3 on the list. Because these Trikes are so common around the map, as you can see, they aren't as common as the Dilphosaurs and the Raptors, but on extinction they literally spawn on almost the whole entire map. The center, most of the map, literally all these maps, they spawn a lot. So anyways guys, I hope you found this video very interesting. So I know they're not like my usual videos that I've been uploading that are really informative, but I just thought it was really interesting, and I wanted to go in depth on like why I think these things are the most dangerous in Ark Survival Evolved, because it is really interesting to see how raptors out of every dino in the game, could have been Rexes, Gigas, anything, raptors are the most deadliest. And then the Dilphosaurs, that's, I guess, you know, reasonable. You would think that it would be Dilphosaurs because the Dilphosaurs, you know, they can kill beach noobs. But then Trikes, you would never think it would be Trikes for third. You would think it would be Rexes or something else, just something a little more dangerous or aggressive than Trikes. But anyways, guys, if you did make it to the end of the video, why not subscribe and leave a like if you haven't already. And we are on the road to hitting 100,000 subscribers. So like I said, make sure you guys subscribe and turn on post notifications. Anyways, I will see you in my next video, hopefully tomorrow. Peace.